Hey, this is the Daily Overpass. My name is Eric and I make apps. Now today I want to talk about losing my cool. Okay, so today I'm coming to you guys from another park. I'm trying to continue the theme of just getting out of the office. Even when I don't know where else to go, I'll head to a park, right? So, and it's nice. I'm in Abingdon. Today I had some business to do in Abingdon, so I came out here and I'm waiting for something. So while I'm waiting, I thought I'll just go, they have this really nice park here. So I thought I'd come out here, set up the camera and tell you about something which is moderately embarrassing. I guess I'm embarrassed about it. Something internal within our team that happened in the week. It was all the result of me, right? So and the reason I'm going to tell you this because you might have a similar situation, or in the future or whatever, or maybe it's just me. I'm just too uptight. Now I like to consider myself to be pretty laid back, right? I try not to get stressed about a lot of things. I've read David Allen's Getting Things Done. I try to do a lot of productivity things to keep from being stressed. Even dabble with meditation and everything like that. But so it's not that often that I get like really uptight. Now on Monday, I told you guys how I dropped my son off at the airport. I was very emotional, right? And I didn't get a lot of sleep the night before, so I drove him to Heathrow. I came back in the office and I did, worked for a few hours, edited the video, uploaded it. And then there was one project that we had to get done for a client on Wednesday, right? And it's kind of a big project, but everything was looking good on it. And over the weekend, it was a long weekend in the Philippines, so I didn't really worry about it, right? So I checked it on Monday night, and a lot of the things that were supposed to be there weren't there, right? And I was tired already, and then I just sort of freaked out. I realized that there was no way we were going to meet the deadline for Wednesday. And ultimately, even though I use developers, I hire developers, it all lands on me. And one of the value adds, when I work with somebody, I tell them is, if I have to jump in there at the end to do the code, then I will. So I was all mad and angry, and I sat down and I pulled an all-nighter, right? So I worked from about 6 p.m. until 5 a.m. the next morning, right? And there's one thing, like, if you ever work in a corporate environment, every so often you might have to pull an all-nighter, and it sucks, right? You just work through the night. The cleaners come by. It's just the building's empty and everything, right? And sometimes I've had to do it, and it's like a whatever. It's like a macho thing in companies. So I'm not a big fan, right? There's been loads of times where you come in and somebody's still there wearing the clothes from the day before, and they're like, "No, I pulled an all-nighter. No, I just worked straight through, just hammered this thing out," right? Which, if it's a developer, I always understood. If it's like a project manager, I never understood why they were still there, right? So it's whatever. And nobody in the history of all-nighters has ever left like right before everyone else came in. Like if you're working until like 6 or even 3, you think, I might as well just stay here till everyone else comes in, because you want them to see it, right? So anyway, it's not the same thing when you work in an office by yourself. So I worked until 5 a.m. and by the time and then of course when you have like a tight deadline like this, when you're thinking, I'm just gonna pull this thing out, I'll just knock this stuff out, and then that's when Xcode gets needs to be upgraded. That's when things start to fail. That's when one dependency you upgrade, and all these other dependencies have to be upgraded, and so you end up spending an hour of that time just upgrading systems and everything like that. Oh, it was so infuriating. But anyway, by the time I got to 5 a.m., I was really angry because the developer was supposed to have done it. So I sent him an email saying, this is not working anymore. We need to terminate this relationship, all this kind of stuff, and kind of an angry email. And I sent it off, and I went home and went to bed. So I slept for like 3 hours. And I'm telling you this, right? I am not the good guy in this story. Let me just tell you that first. So the next day, I see that the developer had emailed me back saying, all of it's done. I'm sorry, it just wasn't checked in yet. So there was that, right? So I did a lot of work overnight, for that, and then it was like, I'm really sorry. I appreciate your decision. I'm not doing that. And so then the reality hit me. It was like the Hulk when he turns back into Bruce Banner. Like, I'm just thinking, oh my God, what was I? All the things I said in that email and everything. And then I thought, how am I going to get by without this guy? He's really good. It's been so hard to find a good developer, and he's really good. How am I going to get by? So we did this song and dance where I said, look, I apologize for what I said. Hopefully, one day we could still work together. And he emailed back saying, yes, maybe one day we still could work together. And then finally I said, look, can you just forget everything I just said and just come back to work? And he said, yeah, that's fine. So that was his little bit of drama and everything, right? What bearing does this have on anything? I don't know. I just want to show the human side of things, right? Every so often, you know, the stress and the fatigue gets you, and especially with client work. This is one of the things, you know, when you're doing your own app, you don't get that stressed about it unless, you know, some people do. I never understood somebody who's putting something out on their market, how they could get so distressed. It's usually when time's involved. So like if a developer tells me it's going to take 3 weeks to do something and it ends up taking 5, if it's one of my projects, I don't really care, right? As long as I'm not paying extra for it, right? You know, I'm not that big a deal, right? But when it's for a client, then that's a whole different thing, and it's a whole different ball game. So anyway, I just wanted to let you guys know that, and I feel really bad about it. So I've been very sheepish the rest of the week, thinking, God, you know, I just gotta keep my big mouth shut, you know, but to be honest with you, I think my code was better, right? So, you know, when I saw the GitHub stuff, or the stuff from Git. So anyway, there's that. Okay, so if you guys have any similar experiences where you just kind of went off the edge with your developers, you know, or if you don't have developers, something where you went off with your boss, put it in the comments. We'd love to hear about it, right? Because, you know, and I won't feel so alone, you know, that kind of that remorse afterwards. So anyway, that's it for today. I will talk to you guys tomorrow.